First things first, patch any holes in your existing backdrops to ensure you have nice, clean surfaces for painting. Paint all your backdrops with bare, charismatic sky paint. Next, bring in your largest mountains and lean them in the approximate place they will be installed. Be sure to step out of your window to assess composition and make adjustments. Then set the window lighting to complement your composition. When the largest mountains are roughly in place, it's time for the backdrop snow and glitter treatment. Grab the sprinkle snow, glitter, charismatic sky paint, and a paintbrush. The idea here is giving the illusion of mountain peaks in the distance, so the peaks will be the most defined and then they taper out. Apply a generous layer of paint for the peak outline and then drag a thin layer down to fill in the rest of the mountain. This will give the mountains an ombre effect. Next, grab the sprinkle snow and apply it to the painted area. Toss or pat it into place and repeat with glitter. Be sure to move quickly when adding the snow and glitter onto the wet paint on the backdrop. So either have a friend come and help like we are here, or do small sections at a time. The final step on the backdrops is snowfall, so grab your ultra white paint, an artist brush, and a step stool. Add white dots throughout, varying the size from pencil eraser to dime to give some depth.
Bring in the rest of the mountains and arrange them in their approximate positions. Foam spacers are used to create depth between the mountain layers and to get them standing upright. Starting against the back and working forward, cut down the foam mountain spacers and pin them to the backs of the mountains. Your window depth in relation to the number of mountain layers will influence the size of your spacers, but 2 to 4 inches gives the best look. Spacer placement should be discreet, as some windows are visible from the side. Continue adding spacers to all of the mountains so they are all upright with a small gap behind them. When adding your lights, first decide where you want your large gondola and then place the lights accordingly. Position 2 strands that run alongside each other to form the shape of the lift cable, with a peak centered above the gondola's location. The peak will hook to the ceiling close to the backdrop. Then when taping your lights to the floor, start the light strand far enough away from the backdrop so that it does not pull against the mountains as it travels up. Note the amount of tension in the swag.
Start by placing 2 track hooks where the large gondola will hang. Space them about 3 feet apart and tie the monofilament to one hook. You will need a piece long enough to reach the floor and come back up. With the gondola on the floor, feed the loose end of the monofilament into a side window from the back. Pull the string across to the opposite side window and exit out the back. Take the loose end back up to the second track hook and loop it through. While a helper supports the weight of the gondola, use the monofilament through the hook like a pulley to lift the gondola into the right position. With the helper supporting, tie the monofilament onto the second hook and trim off the excess. Leveling can be adjusted by scooting the gondola left to right along the monofilament band. Check to make sure the height, levelness, and spacing of hooks looks right before moving on. Add a secondary support by screwing into the upper corner on the side of the gondola. Leave the screw head sticking out enough to tie monofilament around the screw post, and then sink the screw the rest of the way down. create just enough tension to relieve some of the weight on the first monofilament band. Tie the other end of the monofilament to the same track hook already located above. Paint the screw head and repeat for the other side.
Cut small pieces of double stick tape and adhere one side to the back of the text. Attach the text to the gondola, positioning the Y in Mary to cover the center screw on the front window. Follow the text placement shown here in the video. Take a look at your existing scene and identify some good spots for trees. Reinforce the illusion of depth by bringing larger trees more forward and smaller trees to the back. The scene is framed by large trees on either side. Finish the scene by adding sprinkle snow and glitter in patches around the trees and the base of your mountains. Be sure to blow on the snow to clean up the edges. And don't skip this step because it finishes off the window so nicely. Place the small skis into one side window of the gondola. Look at your composition and your storefront to pick the best side. The last mountain sits in front of the scene. We love the depth created by bringing this mountain onto the exterior of the glass. However, not all stores are able to attach displays to their facade. Alternatively, the mountain could sit against the glass on the inside of the window. Assess your window situation and decide what's going to work with your store's architecture. Hot floor lights, weather exposure, accessibility, and overall composition are all important factors. Partner with your DL for any mountain placement concerns.
Lastly, make your final adjustments, dress the forms, take your pictures, and submit them.
Merry Christmas!